Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Number one, a person cannot sell a commodity unless it has come into existence physically. The seller has the ownership of that commodity and it is in the possession of the seller. So these are the three conditions in order to make a valid sale as per Islamic law. However, two types of sales are exempted from these rules, and those are salam sale and istisna sale. Inshallah, we will discuss later on in some video the salam sale and istisna sale. So, for example, a person sells the goods, say mobile phones, to a trader in Pakistan before obtaining the ownership and possession of delivery from abroad. Is not a valid sale. A person sells the calf to be delivered by his cow is an invalid sale. A person sells a disputed land to another person while ownership and possession are not clear is not a valid sale. A person sells garments in his shop to a customer, maybe on cash price, maybe on deferred price, is perfectly a valid sale. So the first rule is, while you are selling, you should have the goods, you are the owner of the goods, and goods are in your possession. Rule number 2. Unconditional sale contract is required. If you are selling something, no other condition needs to be imposed on that sales contract. X, for example, X sells his car to Y, and there is a condition that I will sell only when I will purchase a new car. Is an invalid transaction because condition is there. Or X sells the car to Y on the condition if Nawaz Sharif become Prime Minister once again. It's also invalid sales. Sales must be unconditional. I am selling you this car. Give me the price. Here we go. There is no other. Third rule is about subject of sale. Any commodity which you are selling must be a thing of value. It is also important that what is being sold is a commodity or service which carries utility and not available to everyone without cost. For example, no one can sell the ocean or a river because it is open to everyone and everyone can use it. Likewise, no one can sell the forest to another individual because it is a common property of all the nation. Another rule which we need to take into account is that the business which we are doing, the commodity which we are selling, is normal usage is for halal purposes. Okay, so for example, doing the business of liquor is not halal for Muslims. Doing the business of this pornography material is also not halal for Muslims. Earning through any illegal source like prostitution is not halal for Muslims. Pork, we all know, lahm al-khanzir is haram for Muslims. So production of pork, storage of pork, and selling of pork is also not allowed for Muslims. Sale of fruit like grapes is halal. However, selling these grapes to a liquor manufacturer is not halal. The next rule which we need to take into account is that subject of sale must be identified. Which thing we are going to sell? For example, X had 2 cars and sold one to Y is not a valid sale unless it is identified as which of the vehicle is being sold. Likewise, X throw dice on multiple shirts of different brands. The shirt on which dice stays is to be given to Y for a price of 10 dirham is an invalid sale. X sells the produce of his rice field in Narowal, whatever it would be in terms of quantity, for a price to a rice trader is an invalid transaction because we don't know how much rice will be produced in the field as the subject matter is not clear. However, X sells 100 tons of rice, a specific quantity, at the time of harvest to a rice trader. That is a valid sale. because it would be a salam transaction, but it is a valid sale. So selling a quantity of rice with specification to be delivered is a valid sales. However, selling a quantity of rice or selling a production of a specific field, whatever it would be, is an invalid sales because we don't know how much production will come out of that field. Rule number 6 is about delivery of goods sold should be certain. For example, A sells a ton of apples to be obtained from orchard Y is not a valid sale as delivery is uncertain. How delivery is uncertain? Because we don't know whether orchard Y will be able to produce 1 ton of apples or not. However, without identifying the orchard, one can sell apples with delayed delivery for the price received in advance. That would be a case of salam sale. Price of the commodity sold must be absolute. For example, price absolute means what? Certain, how much you have to pay. Bank S enters into Muraba sales with X for delivery of tractor with cost price 2 million. However, price to be paid by the customer based on length of the period linked with KIBOR plus 2% is an invalid sale. Bank S enters into Muraba contract with an MBA student to provide him a laptop. Cost price is 5,000. The student is required to pay either 12 monthly installment of 444 per payment or 4 quarterly installments of 1,345 per payment. Giving the option pay monthly, you will pay this one, pay quarterly, you will pay this month, and not agreeing on single price is not allowed. However, if you agree on single price, for example, monthly pay this one or quarterly pay this one, that is okay. Deferred price can be different more or less than the spot price. For example, A sells goods to B on the condition that he will charge 5% profit if it is paid within 6 months and charge 10% profit on cost if paid within 1 year and leave the payment schedule to B. It is an invalid sale. It is necessary to settle on one and only one price in sale contract. A offers goods to B in a sale contract at a profit of 5% if paid on spot and profit of 10% for 1 year deferred payment. B opts for 1 year deferred payment, cost plus 10% is a valid transaction. A offers goods to B in a sale contract at a profit of 10% if paid within 6 months and a profit of 15% for 1 year. So you are giving two prices to him. B opts for 6-month payment cost plus 10% profit. Offering multiple prices is a different thing. Executing contract must be on a single price. Once price fixed and contract executed, it can neither be increased due to late payment, nor it can be decreased due to early payment. For example, Alam purchased from computer from a bank costing 50,000 for a profit of 10% above cost. It is not allowed to stipulate in the sales contract that you will pay charge 55,000 if payment is made after a year or 60,000 if payment made after 2 years. No, you have to agree only on one price, whatever that price is, whether 55,000, whether 60,000, whether 1 year, whether 2 years. As a buyer, you have some options, and those are known as khayars. We have 5 khayars. What are those khayar? Khayar number 1 is option to return the goods within a specified time period. So if it is written in the contract, you can return within that specified period. We call it khayar-e-shart. You have to incorporate this option in the contract. Then second is khayar-e-royat. So if goods, right of inspection the goods is granted to the buyer. However, if contract is made without inspection of goods and when goods came to you and you after looking at goods you are not satisfied, you can terminate the contract. You have the option. Khayar-e-ab if defective goods are delivered to the customer, and then customer has the right to return the goods and cancel the contract. Khayar-e-wasf, some features, quality, for example, a mobile phone, talk time 40 hours, battery talk time 40 hours. So if it is not meeting that wasf, that feature, you can return the goods. You have the option. Khayar-e-ghaban, if customer is charged for a higher than market price by deceiving the customer, so customer has the right to return the goods to the seller. We call it khayar-e-ghaban. If a customer is not paying the price at time, so this is a sort of invention by the Islamic banks. So if a customer is not making payment at time, so what options you have? You have multiple options to recover the money, but one of the option is this, that customer will pay the penalty. However, if you are using that penalty and if it is treated as a profit of the seller, that's what riba is, by the way. So hence this money must go to the charity and must not be kept by the seller. So this penalty clause is allowed by the school. In the case of deferred sales contract, salam and istisna, buyer needs to specify the quantity and quality of goods to be delivered and must not insist upon the production of a specific piece of land. However, such condition may be imposed in the case of manufacturing. For example, Alam Jan order for production of a pair of shoes from cobbler X to be manufactured by X himself. If this is the condition, at due date shoes are delivered stitched by Y, Alam has the right not to accept the delivery and insist upon production by X himself. But if this is not the condition that it must be produced by X himself, then X can outsource the production and deliver the goods as per specification to the customer. Commodities, those were the rules relating to commodities. Now the final rule is about sarf, currency trading, right? Currency. In the case of currency trading, both parties must take possession of the counter values before dispersing, such possession being either actual or constructive. A and B exchange Pakistani rupees with dirham at prevailing market rate and take possession of respective currency is a valid transaction. A and B exchange Pakistani rupees with dirham at prevailing market rate. Pakistani rupees delivered at spot, dirham shall be delivered after 10 days is a void contract. A and B agree to exchange Pakistani rupees with dirham at prevailing market rate, but delivery is to be taken place after 1 month is a void contract. So these were the summary of trading rules. I hope you like it. If you like it, please share. Thank you very much. Salam.